Karen's lawyers say those charges, those should be off the table now, that it would be double jeopardy if the state tried to go after her again on those two charges, because that is a no-no. That pesky little issue may end up becoming a full-on roadblock for the state. And so when I said mark your calendars in pencil, press lightly. There is a chance that those charges may be scrapped altogether. And we should know more about this on August 9th. So there's another date. That's 2.5 weeks from now. And that is when the pesky little issue is going to get a pesky little hearing. And if the judge agrees that they cannot retry her on those two charges, there's still that third charge, manslaughter while driving under the influence. George Price is a former DEA special agent. He's also a former prosecutor. And if that's not enough, he's now a trial attorney in Boston. And he's live with me on the over-under on January 27th. George, thanks for being here. That is it. Sure. What's the over-under that we're going to have a second trial January 27th on all three of those charges?
Well, I don't think you're going to have a trial on all three, even close. And I hate to throw cold water on your opening here, but I think that the defense attorney's motion is going to fail, and it's going to fail for a couple of reasons. In Massachusetts, you don't have a verdict in a Massachusetts courtroom unless a verdict is read in open court. That never happened here. To have double jeopardy, and just to remind the audience, double jeopardy is essentially a person's Fifth Amendment right that says you can't be tried for the same crime twice after you've been acquitted or convicted. The problem here is that Karen Read was neither of those things as a result of the judge declaring a mistrial. And because of that, double jeopardy would not apply, especially when there was no verdict ever read in court. For the court to now reopen and try to go back and revisit what 12 jurors were talking about in deliberations is not going to happen. Massachusetts law is incredibly clear that a judge can't inquire into a jury's deliberations ever unless it only deals with the potential of some racial stereotyping or that type of thing. Otherwise, a judge will never ask a jury about their deliberations. They can't as a matter of law. So what I think, and I hope, if the prosecution's smart, is they will drop those two counts and bring their manslaughter charge and leave it at that. It resolves the appeal issues. It lets the trial go forward on that one issue. And the news here today in Boston is that part of those affidavits was that in the manslaughter charge, the jury was deadlocked. They were 6-6, but as they ended, it ended up at 9-3 in favor of conviction. So I think you're going to see a trial again on manslaughter for sure. If the prosecution's smart, they will drop those other charges. But, for the defense, I think there's plenty of reasonable doubt in the evidence here. You've had many, many shows about it. Many networks have been covering this for a very long time. There is so much reasonable doubt in this case without having to even consider all those other issues that they should just try the case simply on the bad evidence, the lack of evidence to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. And at the same time, the prosecutor should absolutely drop those other charges because there's no intent here. There's clearly no intent in the case. It's George, really troubling.
I'm flat out of time. I'm flat out of time. I need you to answer this literally in about 10 seconds. But
Sure.
if Alan Jackson, who's really, really good at this, right? He prosecuted Phil Spector in California. If he had just polled the jury and they had said something out loud on court record, would that have taken care of all of this?
It certainly would have helped. He should have raised his hand and said, "Judge, sidebar, please. I'd like to talk to you and ask you to poll the jury as we're sitting here before you let them walk out the door." That would have been a really good thing if that happened, and it should have happened.
Although
it didn't happen.
Well, maybe. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.